Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. Lots happened this year. It's been a roller coaster of, improvements in match play and conditioning, but also injuries and time off the court. Um, Honestly, it wasn't the year I expected, but I'm happy with how things have been going, considering all the circumstances. And I want to review it with you. About a year ago, I had a clear goal. I wanted to get to UTR 8. Honestly, going back to February, I felt ready. Like my serve was clicking, movement was better, sharper. And for once, the numbers were starting to climb in the way that matched how I was feeling on the court. Like I'm a better tennis player. I want the UTR to show it. And so you can see on these charts, up on the screen, through February and March, the results started rolling in. My matches were getting more competitive. There was that one match against Akil, who was almost like a full UTR point above me, and just like you could tell that my confidence was higher and my UTR was climbing because I was, even if I was losing the matches, I wasn't like beating myself, and I remember talking about that a lot in those videos. And for a few months, the beginning of the year, everything was just lining up physically, mentally, technically. And I started out, I think, around 3.3, 3 point high, high 3.2. And by April, I got to 3.68. And, full UTR point, you might expect to, if not bagel, win against someone like 6'2", 6'2", right? And so going up, even 3 or 4 tenths of a point in just a couple months, in like 2 or 3 months, so essentially like a tenth of a point a month, was feeling really nice. And that's about when I got injured. Probably because I was overtraining, neglecting a little bit, or not realizing that even though I was fit enough to be able to play matches, playing 2 hour matches, 2 full sets on my ankle, where it was at the time, just wasn't advisable, and wasn't even successfully getting to that point in the matches. My leg and ankle and calf would give out after about an hour of play, and then I would recover a little bit and then do it again, and it just wasn't smart. And it took me a while to realize that, like, hey, like, something's actually more wrong on a fundamental level. I'm not just like getting hurt out of nowhere. This is actually going back to January 2022 when I had this surgery. My foot was so flat that it was sprained chronically, and so when they reconstructed it, it was a huge surgery, flat foot reconstruction. You can look it up. They moved your heel over. They move your tendons, to kind of bypass the damaged one on your arch. It's an intense surgery. It was like 6 to 9 months of rehab just to be like functional again. And then that's not anything to do with performance. So I got functional. I'm climbing stairs. I'm walking, going on vacations. Like the general things you want to be able to do in your life, I was able to do them. But playing tennis versus climbing stairs, completely different. And my PT regimen after the surgery wasn't focused on performance. It was focused on functionality. Anyways, now that I'm in 2025 making these goals to get to UTR 8, my body's like, what? Like, we didn't sign up for that. We're not ready for that. And I was pushing past it anyways. My body has been a great teacher of like, hey, here's your limits. If you don't stay within them, there are consequences. Anyway, so the chart peaks in mid-April. I was starting to track like, okay, this isn't about becoming an ATP pro, but I like having goals. I like seeing data. Where am I now, and how do I know if I'm getting better? One thing is UTR, but what does that mean for my age group and in my area? And so I live in Chicago, and you can see here that my rank was 282 by the time I got to April, that peak. got to 1,762 in Illinois, and that's across all age groups. Um, but right around that high point, as I said, things started to shift. I had a great team working with me. My strength and conditioning coach, my physio, was trying to manage it using all of those kind of resources. I had to rest for a couple of weeks after that. And every time I tried to ramp it back up, something felt off. Like I wasn't able to actually get back and feel like I was actually competitive again. So that was my first real break from tennis all year. And the data shows it, right? Like I dipped from 3.62 to 3.27. I gave myself a couple weeks and I thought, hey, maybe I'm ready now. Let's go and play on some grass, have this new experience, which was, I think, still a great idea. What I didn't plan super well was how much tennis I was going to play that weekend. Ended up playing 2 hours, 3 days in a row, which maybe doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're coming off all these injuries, it's a huge deal. 6 hours of tennis in one weekend was just like way too much. And I set myself back again. And honestly, that was, I overdid it. I tried to like KT tape on my own, which was kind of stupid, and I did it wrong. And it was the breaking point, like another breaking point in the year. And so I haven't played a full competitive match since June. And then I've been completely out for almost 6 weeks now. And so you can see the big drop in June through July. And I kind of started to think of, okay, I'm not playing tennis right now. I'm playing rehab. Like rehab is my competition now. I got to do calf raises instead of serves. I got to do balance drills instead of points. Every day is just about micro progress. And, luckily I have a gym in my building. So I was just really hitting the gym, doing all the things that I could do without injuring my ankle, focusing on cardio, doing the indoor bike. The mindset was, yes, my ankle complex is like broken, but the rest of my body isn't. And I'm going to get in great shape. So when I get back to the court, I'm going to be in the best tennis shape I've maybe ever been. So yeah, I didn't hit UTR 8 this year. Big shocker. You probably saw that coming in like February. But I did learn what it takes to build something sustainable. People in my life often will be like, can't believe you're injured again, or like, when are you not injured? And, honestly, it kind of sucks to hear that. But I really needed that surgery 3.5 years ago. It helped me from a real place of pain to get to functional again. And now I can go from functional to like competitive in my favorite hobby. So I'm going to be playing tennis until I can't anymore. And this is just the beginning of the recovery. So the road to UTR 8 continues. I'll get there, just not the way I originally planned and not in 2025. So stay tuned for the next episode. Hit the subscribe button. Let me know if there's anything you hope to see on and off the court content-wise.